And like a quiet drumbeat building into a global anthem, Nairobi, once a backstage hand in the theater of world diplomacy, is now stepping boldly into the spotlight. The city is no longer just a host, but a heartbeat, no longer a bridge, but a capital. And as the United Nations redraws its map of power, it is here, in the red soil of Kenya, that new global conversations will take root and rise. Today, our lens turns to Nairobi, a city once considered a regional powerhouse, now rising swiftly into the realm of global diplomacy. In a landmark move under its United Nations at 80 reforms agenda, the United Nations has announced that it will be relocating 3 of its major global agency headquarters, that is the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, and United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women, UN Women, to Nairobi by the end of 2026. This move positions Kenya's capital as one of the only 4 cities globally to host multiple United Nations headquarters alongside New York, Geneva, and Vienna. But how did we get here? The story begins decades ago. In 1996, Nairobi became home to the global headquarters of the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, and the United Nations Human Settlements Programme, UN Habitat, making it the only UN headquarters in the global south. Over the years, Nairobi proved itself not only as a stable and secure city, but also as a vibrant diplomatic hub. With over 100 foreign missions, growing international schools, and expanding infrastructure, Nairobi steadily strengthened its global appeal. The 2020s saw Kenya take bolder roles in climate negotiations, regional peace talk, and international development. These strides, combined with high operational costs in traditional Western cities, pushed the United Nations to rethink its structure. And in 2025, the decision was made: shift part of the core to Nairobi. And the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, is already leading the transition with plans to relocate 25% of its staff from New York to Nairobi by mid-2025, potentially up to 2,000 employees. Internal discussions are ongoing in the United Nations Children's Fund and United Nations Women. But the framework is clear. Nairobi is about to become a global nerve center. To accommodate this shift, the Kenyan government is investing over $340 million into expanding the United Nations Gigiri complex, including a new 9,000-seat conference hall, over 30 meeting rooms, and cutting-edge office facilities. This is coupled with major upgrades to roads, fiber connectivity, and public utilities in the surrounding zones of Runda, Gigiri, and Muthaiga. For Kenya, the economic impact will be significant. The United Nations expanded footprint is projected to inject $350 million annually into the Kenyan economy. This includes direct spending through salaries and contracts, as well as indirect boost in hospitality, construction, education, transport, and consulting services. Thousands of new jobs will emerge, not just within the UN, but across businesses serving its ecosystem, from hotels and restaurants to security firms and private schools. Beyond economics, Kenya is gaining global influence. With its headquarters in Nairobi, Kenyan policymakers, non-governmental organizations, researchers, and creatives will have direct access to United Nations systems and decision-makers. But this transformation is not without its costs. Housing prices are already rising in diplomatic neighborhoods. Rents in Gigiri, Runda, and Muthaiga are climbing, and pressure is trickling into nearby areas. Middle-income families are beginning to feel the squeeze, and urban inequality could deepen if the government doesn't enact affordable housing and inclusive zoning policies. Additionally, a larger international presence will place more strain on Nairobi's infrastructure, that is, traffic congestion, water demand, and security resources will all be tested. But still, this is a moment of opportunity. Nairobi stands on the brink of becoming Africa's first true global capital, a city where diplomacy, humanitarian aid, development policy, and innovation meets. From the streets of Gikambura to the gates of Gigiri, this shift carries the potential to transform lives. The question is no longer whether Nairobi is ready. The question is, how will we as a nation rise to meet this moment? For the World Economic Federation Journalism Guild, I'm Gatesha Miranda, and this has been your Global Wrap.